Do you want to know which town is the best kept secret in East Texas? Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Chandler, Texas, so let's get into it. As always, we want to thank you for checking out our channel, Living in Tyler, Texas, as we continue to break down everything that you may need to know about making a move to this area. We want to remind you that we are your friend in real estate. So if you have any questions about finding a place, purchasing, whatever that may be, we want to be a resource for you. So don't hesitate to reach out. We talk to people every day who are planning to make a move to this area. We've helped over 100 families call East Texas home, and we are ready to help you as well. All right, so why Chandler, Texas? First off, I think the biggest draw to Chandler is going to be the value. As we get into the real estate stuff a little bit later, the average price point in Chandler is lower than a lot of the other places in and around East Texas. Additionally, it is very close to Tyler. It's only about 20 minutes to a couple different spots, very similar to White House and the layout, and not too far from Dallas either. It also is a little bit smaller, and if you're looking for that small town feel, Chandler definitely has that. It's going to be the smallest of all the towns that we have looked at so far, from Bullard, Lindell, White House. It's going to have a little bit smaller population, and that is a draw for some people. You're not going to have the same traffic issues and things of that nature that you can, kind of get in these smaller towns that have grown more recently. On the flip side of that, I actually think Chandler is growing, and there's a couple different reasons that I think that's the case, but it could be an opportunity to kind of come into a place that is a little bit undervalued currently. You get a good deal, and you're able to take advantage of some of that appreciation over time. All right, so a little about Chandler, Texas. It has a population of 3,300 people as of 2022. That number is probably a little bit bigger, accounting for the growth that has happened in East Texas over the last few years. It's situated pretty well just west of Tyler. In fact, you're only 20 minutes to get to Target. You're 17 minutes to get to downtown, and then 20 minutes to get to the hospital. So those distances are pretty comparable to what you're gonna find in White House in terms of how far they are. It just sits on the west side of Tyler. Now, because it's on the west side of Tyler, you're actually only an hour and a half to get to the center of Dallas. So it's actually very close, not very close, but it's much closer than, say, White House is or Bullard to get to Dallas. It saves you a good 30 minutes. So if you do travel or plan to commute to the Metroplex, Chandler's gonna be a place that's a little bit closer for you. All right, so we are going to take our first home tour right now. We're at 414 Bluebonnet Circle here in Chandler, Texas, built by Hunt Homes. It's 1,750 square feet, priced at $316,000. It's a great price. It's got a lot of cool features, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's take a look. All right, so really the best feature of this house is the amount of natural light that you've got in this big living area. It's definitely got like a grand room type feel, or a great room type feel rather, where you've got the living, dining, and the kitchen all opening up together. But you can see, got a nice touch with the electric fireplace, but you've got big windows here at the entry and then all along this wall, which I think just really make this an incredible home. Especially at this price point, $316,000 for this house is really pretty special. Big island countertop here. You've got more counter space on this side as well. And then you've got your stove, laundry here, decent size. It's not just a closet. And then you've got this nice little area off the garage or mudroom to hang backpacks, shoes, whatever it may be. It's nice to have that bench there. And then again, we look out into the living room, good size. Go down the main hallway here. You've got a full bathroom. Not a split floor plan, but that's okay. Not massive bedrooms, 10 by 10, pretty standard. Guest room number 2 as well. And then you've got the master bedroom here. You do have taller ceilings in here, 10 foot, and you've definitely got a bigger room. And you've got the master bath, really nice. I do like the use of colors in here. A lot of their stuff is just all white, which is popular. I do still like a little bit of different colors mixed with there, so you've got some separation. Nice tiled shower. Freestanding tub. And then a good size master closet in here. And then it takes us back out into the master bedroom. So you can see the good things about this house are your common space. It's going to be great for entertaining. You've got lots of room. Guest bedrooms are a little smaller, but the master bedroom is good size. And being under 1,750 square feet at this price point is just really hard to find. But let's go take a look outside. So I would say this would be really the only negative about the house. The yard is a little small. It is situated on a corner lot, so you do have a lot of yard space in the front. But I do like the black on the back here. But as you can see, just not a ton of backyard space. A lot of it's going to be in the front. But this neighborhood is really great because you do have sidewalks out front. And you know, I always love sidewalks. So having a place to get outside and move around is going to be a great feature also. All right, here's our first set of interviews from Chandler locals. What do you like about Chandler?
I like that it has a big town convenience with a small town feel. But on that same note, I don't like that there's not a whole lot of variety if I'm looking for certain items. So I still have to travel for those.
What do you not like about Chandler?
Well, that there's not as much variety in some of the shopping experiences that you need.
If somebody was moving to Chandler, what is something you think they should know?
That we have a great school district, that it's a family feel, and that we're very involved with our kids.
What do you like about Chandler?
I like the history of the town. I like the pride that people have in their town, and that it really has the small town feel.
What do you not like about Chandler?
I don't like that it is growing so quickly. I like to keep the small town feel.
If somebody was moving to Chandler, what do you think they should know?
They should know that it is a fantastic community to raise kids in. It's also a fantastic retirement community. I think we can reach both of those demographics, and we do have a super school district, and the community is always very involved, and that's great.
What do you like about Chandler?
I like the small town feel, and everyone is like family.
What do you not like about Chandler?
I really don't like the growth. A lot of things are changing and it's getting bigger, and I'm just worried that that small town feel is going to go away.
If somebody was moving to Chandler, what do you think they should know?
I think they should know that you could go into any of the locally owned businesses, and they are super helpful, and they can tell you anything that you need to know about.
All right, so what is there in Chandler, Texas? When we talk about places to eat, Chandler is a little bit smaller, as you can tell by the population, so your choices are going to be a little bit more limited. However, they do have a phenomenal seafood place, catfish, shrimp, that kind of thing, called Wade's Place. It's kind of not impressive on the inside, but the food is absolutely incredible, and I would argue it's probably the best catfish, that type of seafood that you're going to find in East Texas. It's worth the short trip over there to get in there. They're open 4 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, for lunch and dinner. But there will be a line when you get there most likely just because it's great food, people line up to go there, and because of the limited operating hours, they stay busy. Additionally, you've got Los Dos Potrillos. It's a Mexican restaurant. It's 4 stars on Google. I've honestly only had it from catering, and it's decent. It's probably not as good as most of the Mexican restaurants in Tyler, but it's a solid choice if you don't want to travel into Tyler to be able to get Mexican food. You also have China Chef, which is kind of a quick Chinese spot. It's decent. I've had takeout from there a few times. Nothing exceptional, but it's not bad either. You do have lots of fast food choices from Sonic, Taco Bell, Domino's, Whataburger, McDonald's now. So you're going to have several fast food options if you need something quick, if you don't want to go to a sit-down area and still be able to have some options for going out to eat or just grabbing a quick bite. All right, so some of the other things in Chandler, their primary grocery store is Brookshire's. Just like a lot of the small surrounding communities, Brookshire's is the place that people get most of their groceries. Chandler has a good-sized Brookshire's, so you don't have to go into Tyler to get your groceries. There's also an Ace Hardware and a Dollar General for just other odds and ends and things like that. They've got a small boutique attached to Wade's Place called the Chandler Country Store. They'll have some knickknacks, some odds and ends stuff. It's not really a place to do a lot of shopping, truthfully. Most of your shopping you're probably going to go into Tyler for, just because Chandler is a little bit more limited in terms of what's there. Now, some of the attractions that are a draw to Chandler is primarily the biggest attraction is going to be Lake Palestine. Chandler sits on the western side of Lake Palestine, and it's a big fishing community. As you move south of Chandler, you're going to have people come, access the public boating ramps, public fishing spots, all of that. Chandler is going to be a big hub to visit Lake Palestine. Frankston is just a little bit south of there, and then Bullard is on the eastern side of Lake Palestine, but that's going to be your primary attraction outside of Chandler. Now, they also have Winchester Park, which is a baseball, softball field, and they've got a playground in between. They also have the Chandler River Park, which is another small park for kids to play at and things like that. It's not necessarily a place that has a lot of attractions or a lot of stuff to do, but that's very typical of a small town. The good thing about Chandler is it does have a few things, but you're not far from anything in Tyler. So its proximity to Tyler doesn't necessitate the need for it to develop all those things within the city. All right, so let's talk about the schools for Chandler, Texas. Now, Chandler is a part of Brownsboro ISD. Brownsboro ISD has 6 schools. 2 of those are located in Chandler. Chandler Elementary, which is pre-K through 3rd grade, and then Chandler Intermediate, which is 4th grade through 6th grade. After 6th grade, all the students will go to Brownsboro Junior High and Brownsboro High School. Now, Brownsboro has had a B rating, which is less than the typical ones that you hear about with White House, Bullard, and Lindell. However, I think Brownsboro ISD is a phenomenal school district. Now, I'm a little bit biased. I did work there for 4 years as an assistant principal, so I'm very familiar with the community and the schools. And if I'm being totally transparent, we considered moving our kids to Brownsboro ISD last year because I did really like the community. It's 4A school, which is the same size as Bullard, but it's just a little bit different than Bullard, Lindell, and White House in that it's a little bit more rural type school district. And because of that, the community, the people, and the kids are just a little bit different. Not as, I would say, a little bit more traditional values of what you would expect in a small town, small community that you may not get in Lindell, Bullard, or White House. Now, there are going to be exceptions to that, but a lot of those people live on more land. Agriculture and farming and things like that are a big part of the community. In fact, Brownsboro is well known for being a great school for FFA, Future Farmers of America, where they raise animals, they show animals and things like that. But it's not just about that. FFA is a great program that helps you develop speaking skills, leadership skills, problem-solving skills, and those are competitions and things like that that you can be a part of in FFA to where you don't have to even raise animals. So all that's to say, they have a lot of great things going on at Brownsboro ISD. I love the community. I think it is a lot closer to what people used to, or what people think schools should be like, and just the community. Despite the B rating, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And like I said, we really considered long and hard about sending our kids there when we made a switch last year. So I would absolutely advocate for Brownsboro ISD as a great place to send your kids to school. All right, we are going to get into our second interviews with locals in Chandler, Texas. So what do you like about Chandler?
I love the community feel of Chandler. You always feel you're a part of something.
What do you not like about Chandler?
I don't like that we have to go outside of Chandler to meet all of our needs. Not necessarily needs, but all of our wants, maybe to go shopping and things like that, or out to eat in other places. So our choices are limited. But that's the trade-off for living in a small community.
If you were going to give somebody advice that's moving to Chandler, what would you tell them?
Although Chandler is growing rapidly, we still have a tight-knit community feel.
So what do you like about Chandler?
I like Chandler because it's a good hometown atmosphere. It's close to Tyler, it's close to Dallas, but you still feel like you're in a small town. And
What do you not like about Chandler?
I don't like the taxes that much. I don't like how it's growing, that it's starting to fill up.
If somebody was moving to Chandler, what's something you think they should know?
I think they should know that you're so close to everything, that Tyler has anything you could possibly want, and you're 15 minutes from Tyler and an hour and a half from Dallas, but you still have the hometown atmosphere. You still have that idea that I can go to my neighbor's house and ask for help or help the people down the street. It's a good hometown atmosphere.
So the real estate in Chandler is one of the most affordable in East Texas. It has a median price point of $261,000, which drops it significantly below White House, Bullard, and Lindell. White House at $309, Lindell around $330, and Bullard at $409 makes Chandler a very affordable community. Now, there is some caveat to that. If you are buying a home in Chandler proper, the city, your taxes are going to be pretty high. The appraisals are spot on with market, so you're going to get that full value, and the rate is closer to like 2.45 or 2.46, so it's a very big number. So your taxes in the city are going to be a little bit higher than some of those other communities, and that will in fact offset some of that affordability. But to the extent that you see that medium price point, Chandler is going to have a ton of great options to make it a very affordable place. Now, we talked about Chandler growing, and one of the reasons why I think that is probably going to be the case, or there's two reasons actually. So I was privy to a lot of the information when TSID rezoned their school districts previously, and there was an expectation that there would be continued population growth on the western side of Tyler where Chandler is. Because of that, I think there's going to be some overflow as Tyler expands west where people spill out into Chandler because it is so close to Tyler. The other part of that is the three biggest home builders, one of which is the biggest in the country, are building in Chandler and not anywhere else. So D.R. Horton is the one that I'm referencing. They're the biggest home builder in the country, and they've built a big subdivision in Chandler. So to me, that signals that they've done their market research. They know that Chandler is growing, that there's desire and interest there, and they've come in and they've built a lot of homes. The other two big East Texas builders who build everywhere, but are also in Chandler, are Hunt Homes and Conaway Homes. Conaway builds about 125 a year. They are the biggest in East Texas, and Hunt Home builds about 100 homes a year. So you've got the two biggest builders in East Texas also following D.R. Horton. And to me, those are all things signaling continued growth, continued expectation for people to move and live in Chandler. So I think that's an opportunity to buy something that maybe is undervalued currently and is going to grow in price and appreciation over time, maybe a little bit quicker than, say, White House or Lindell or even Bullard. So last year, there were 146 homes that sold in Chandler. Of those 146, 35 of them were new construction. You've got a good mix of homes. You're going to have some super high-end homes that sit on Lake Palestine, but there are also going to be other lake homes that are the cheapest in East Texas for a big lake. All Lake Tyler homes are very expensive, largely because it is protected by the city, and what can be on the lake in terms of homes is going to be governed and restricted. Bullard, similarly, on the eastern side of Lake Palestine, is also pretty well regulated to where it's a little bit tougher to find some of the rundown homes and things like that. Chandler it's largely unrestricted. You do have some really incredible communities. In fact, there's a $5 million home on Lake Palestine on the market right now that is going to be probably the most expensive home in East Texas. However, you also have mobile home parks on Chandler. In Chandler on Lake Palestine. So you're going to have those lower end homes kind of bringing down some of the value of others. And some of the homes in Chandler that are nice are going to be cheaper because they're in a neighborhood that's a mobile home park or community that's not very well kept, whether there's abandoned homes, overgrown homes, things like that. So it can be a very mixed bag when you get to Chandler and go on the lake in terms of what's available and that kind of thing. And that's one of the reasons why the affordability or the median price point is lower, because some of that stuff is just not as nice as maybe other places. Now, that's not to say there aren't some phenomenal deals out there, because there absolutely are. When you look at that total price point in Chandler versus some of those other communities, I think you're going to be surprised how good of a value it is out there actually. So that's Chandler, Texas. I truly think it's a great place to be on your radar if you're thinking about a move to East Texas. If you have kids, it's a phenomenal place to raise a family. It's going to have a little bit different feel than all those other communities, just because of the nature of it being spread out and being part of a district that's actually a little bit more isolated and away from Tyler. The closer you are to Tyler, the people are just different because their lifestyle is different. Chandler being part of a rural school district where people are very active with animals and land and farming and hunting and things like that, is just going to have a different type of person. And I think if that's something that you're interested in or trying to see, I would put Chandler on my list to consider. Like I said, the schools may be a B-rated school, but I don't put a lot of stock in those ratings unless it's a very bad rating, because having worked in different districts, different campuses with a myriad of ratings, this situation is going to be unique every year. There's going to be circumstances that make it great or could make it bad that are just not reflected in that rating. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that, because I do think it's a great school, and I considered sending my own kids there last year. The only reason we decided not to was we knew that long term, if we did that, we would need to move to Chandler, and we really just love Tyler enough that we didn't want to make that move. So as always, thank you for checking out our channel. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like. Again, if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to our channel so that way you get notifications every time we drop a new video. And again, if you are thinking about buying a piece of real estate here in East Texas, we want to be your resource to figure out what that process looks like. We talk to people all the time and would love to visit with you. So shoot us an email, text message, whatever it may be. We would love to connect with you and see how we can help.